Moon's television. You have to be sitting in exactly the right spot or it stops working. Hey, are we back? I think we're back. We were talking about anniversaries before we left. Let's see here. The chat is still going, which is good. I think we are back. All right.
All right.
All right. So if anybody out there can hear me, if my voice is reaching one of the moons out there, thank you all for joining us for this little anniversary live stream and staying true. You know, the anniversaries are all about staying true to whatever it is that's celebrating. And technical difficulties are kind of our thing, so we're staying true to ourselves in that way. We haven't, in 4 years, you know, we haven't forgotten our roots. So I hope other Star Wars podcasts take that note. You know, and it says here, Sooner Thrawn just got an alert for Rebel Scum from YouTube. Thanks. I've been watching 10 minutes now. Yeah.
Andrew,
yes.
Have you been reading anything Star Wars related recently? Did you finish Alphabet Squadron? I think you mentioned it once.
Yeah, I finished Shadowfall. I really enjoyed it. It's those two books, man. The Alphabet Squadron books are my favorite, not just canon, but I think my favorite Star Wars fiction books, period. They're just so well written.
Nice.
There's actual emotion in them, unlike books about a certain blue-skinned alien who will go on there. So yeah, I'm very pleased with them. I can't wait for the third one. But I've actually recently just started rereading, and it's gotten me really emotional. And I know it's not Star Wars-y, but it's kind of on the same path. But for the first time since I was in grade 9, I've been rereading The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
And back then in grade 9, because I was a dumb old teenager, I was like, these are stupid. And now I'm like, God damn, these are so beautiful. I've really come full circle where Tolkien's concerned. What about you, Brock? What are you reading these days?
I'm just finishing a Stephen King novella. He just put out like 4 stories in one like hardcover. It's called If It Bleeds, which fits in with the Outsider characters stuff. A book he put out last year or whatever. That's pretty good. I've been meaning to get back into Alphabet Squadron because I do have it on digital on my phone. So it's just like, yeah. But it's kind of a bummer. Like, this is August. We would be on the eve, more or less, in 2 to 3 weeks of High Republic. So it's just like, but like, I think I read something recently that was like exciting. Oh, on like Holo News last episode or like last week was, they were just saying, oh yeah, Larson, like the Santeca tribe or whatever it's called is in these books. So that's exciting. Did you see that? I feel like that wasn't that new, but
yeah, that was I remember hearing the Holo News, and I think they said that at some point or another when they were pimping out the books.
Yeah. But I was just like, oh, here's a little quotation. Oh, because Charles Soule did like an interview, I think.
Okay, yeah, that must.
So I think that's why I read it. Yeah, man, I'm excited for that to come out. It's this year, but in December, yeah, or is it January?
I heard it's January and February. Yeah. Which I don't know. I don't know how the industry works. I mean, I know how to write a book, but I don't know how the book industry works. So I don't really understand why you can't social distance and write and publish a book. But that's why I guess I'm not working for HarperCollins. But it's really a shame because there's that was supposed to be it was supposed to usher in the dawn of the new era. It was the trumpet call that was going to lead us into this new world of Star Wars post Skywalker saga. And the fact that it was delayed really took a lot of wind out of this franchise's sails. So here's hope. Like, now more than ever, we need Mandalorian to keep those sales adrift.
Yeah.
So here's hoping that stays the course and we still get it in October, like the plan is initially to be. Like when they announced, I think it was last month when they announced all those Mandalorian books. I was like, is
Yes.
this really the right time to announce books when you just delayed like 6 books already? That everybody's like, is this really the time to be like, in 8 months we got more books coming? Like, maybe don't give us that news yet, because chances are the way it's
Yeah.
going down there, they're, somebody's going to be like, oh, we can't finish those in time. So I think just as long as the show is coming out, then we might, at least we'll have something. And I don't
Yeah.
think that's in any danger, touch wood, of having having anything happen to its release date.
I saw an article, like the title, and I didn't read it because I was like, no, thank you. Or it's like, Mandalorian actor says season 2 will have the origin of the dark saber, and I'm like, ugh, that sounds like BS. I mean, we kind of know the origin already,
Hmm.
and I don't know what your thoughts would be. Like, we know that oh god, what's the first man? Is it man?
Vizsla.
What's the who makes the dark saber?
Tar Vizsla.
Right. Is it? Anyways, but like, yeah,
I trust
you could tell
Andrew.
that story. You could tell that story, but like, it's boring, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't. Do you think that would fit in a Mandalorian episode?
Not in the ones that we have gotten, especially because those episodes are like 28 minutes. So it's
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
only have a certain amount of time.
yeah.
If this was the Peter Jackson cut, yes, you can have 20 whole minutes of Kate Blanchett telling us the backstory, but they're clearly making a shorter thing. So I don't know if that's unless it's like a line of dialogue where Giancarlo Esposito is just like, "Do you know where this came from, Mandalorian? This was made by blah 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 in the year blah blah," and then they keep fighting.
I don't know. I think that's why I didn't read it, because I was just like, the origins of Darksaber, and that could be misconstrued anyway. It's like, obviously we're gonna learn a little bit about it that we didn't know before. So like,
And a
yippee
lot of
hooray.
people don't know the story of it too that are watching Mandalorian also, because they don't watch the animated stuff. So,
and you sum it up with
Yeah.
like one statement, and that's enough. Like, I'd be more interested in the story of how Goff Moff Gideon got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the story that I think they're going to tell. And I think somebody got overzealous and was like, we'll say it's the history. That's what it must mean.
so I saw my parents this weekend. It was Aaron's birthday this weekend, so my parents stopped by. Happy birthday, Aaron! She's not
Happy
watching.
birthday.
She doesn't care what we say. But my parents were over, and they love the Mandalorian. They love the Mandalorian, and they were talking about the Mandalorian. And then, but they were like, yeah, and they were explaining to my father-in-law, and they're like, yeah, and it's Yoda's a baby in it. And I was like, well, no. And they're like, what? I was like, well, he's not Baby Yoda. This is after Yoda's dead. They're like, what? They had no idea. And I was thinking, because I've mentioned other things on the podcast and stuff, when you have conversations with people about the Mandalorian or other Star Wars, they just watch it, right? They're not as invested in it as we are, so they watch it, they enjoy it, they love it, like they were saying, but those little details are missed a little bit. It was like the Rise of Skywalker with Rey and Kylo, where people were like, oh, they still thought they were related at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, people just, they don't see it this way. And so I wonder I'm just curious how many other people don't know that this takes place after Return of the Jedi.
That's true. And I think that the casual people, to them, it doesn't even really matter.
No,
Like,
it definitely doesn't matter.
yeah.
And there's going to be
Like,
that bombshell of like, well, Obi-Wan's dead. What?
Yeah. When I showed it to my mom, who ended up loving it too, she didn't, it didn't really clue into her when all this was. And I just I didn't bother with like a whole backstory. I just said, so this is after the end of Return of the Jedi, where Darth Vader and the Emperor died. And she's like, okay. And
Yeah.
that was sort of all she needed. And the show didn't really, it wasn't really inaccessible. It wasn't too
Yeah.
precious about itself. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
I hope you know what I'm about to talk about because in the year, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody was just sort of going with the flow, telling their stories, being who they were. Mando was being Mando, Kara was being Kara. And they didn't really make it too hard for you to grasp what they were doing. Like you didn't have to know anything at all.
No.
Like Kara's just like, yeah, we fought at Endor and that was it. And now there's no rebellion anymore. That's all you really needed to know. And that told you enough about her.
And if you're not
about the
obsessed with the
world,
movies, you don't know what the Battle of Endor is or anything. Like you said, it doesn't matter because the way they treated the movies and all the stuff and the TV shows that have come before it, the animated stuff, is like its own history. And so if you know it, great, and if you don't, they're going to kind of sum it up in a way where now you understand what it is.
Exactly. The Battle of Endor is spoken of in The Mandalorian with the same kind of breath as Return of the Jedi talks about the Battle of Tanab. Like it's just the thing. So it's I think it's perfectly done. You don't need to, because the characters are so removed from everything anyway, you don't need that knowledge. Now, if season 2 is like Luke is a character, then it's like, okay, well, now it might help if you knew what his deal was.
Yeah.
But like some of the magic of a show that grabs you is like you're thrown, especially Star Wars, is you're thrown into the action and you're supposed to piece it together. So it's like, I guess if you're not watching the episodes in a row, for the non-Star Wars fan, you might forget details or miss a detail or what have you. But like,
I think what Andrew says about the Battle of Tanab hit the nail on the head about what makes Mandalorian so Star Wars is that Star Wars has always had its own fictional history, and now it actually has a history. But the Mandalorian treats it how the original Star Wars treated its fictional history. Like it doesn't dwell on anything. It's like, oh yeah, the Clone Wars, we fought in the Clone Wars. Don't worry about that. It's treating everything we've seen just like that, as passive. Like we talk about history today. We're not like obsessing over it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and my parents, when they go see these movies or watch these movies at home, are like, "When does this one happen?" And then I say exactly what Andrew said, and that's not.
Yeah, that's all it takes because they don't care because it's accessible, like you said. It's 15 Emmy nominations.
Sooner Thrawn says like, Esposito says interview.
He just combined his. He called his name from
history. Stop talking. Will be explained. Sounds like Moff Gideon may be Mandalorian and choose to help the Empire for Mandalore. What do we think about that? Do we think Moff Gideon is Mandalorian?
I think that the title, The Mandalorian, what's cool about it is how nebulous it can be. Because I mean, by the end of season 1, technically, the child is Mandalorian, so it could have been a reference to it. So anything that, like anything can happen that would make you look at the title again and be like, ooh, there's another way to interpret it. So I wouldn't be surprised if stuff like that happens. Would it happen with Gideon?
Well,
that's tough.
There needs to be a connection between him and Mandalore for him to have the Darksaber, right? Wait,
perhaps.
What did Maul have when he faced off Obi-Wan? Was it double-sided red? Because Sabine has a Darksaber, then she brings it back to Mandalore, and Satine's sister has it, right? So okay, so it's still on Mandalore the last time we saw it. He's got to have some kind of connection there, whether he's Mandalorian or he's the reason why the Mandos all had to go under in hiding. Like he was a leader of a battalion that forced them to go into hiding. Either way, we are going to get some really cool backstory in 30 minutes or less.
Yes. Actually, speaking of that, do you guys know there's been a lot of, like, everywhere I look where I see news, whatever, even like Wikipedia and just like different outlets, everybody seems to be saying, and maybe I just missed this announcement, but is Katie Sackhoff like 100% confirmed to be playing Bo-Katan in season 2?
I don't think anything is. I think she's in it, but it's not 100% confirmed.
Okay. Because it's just like, it's stated as fact in a bunch of places. And I'm like, I feel like I would remember them making that announcement a big deal.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything's been officially confirmed. Brock, what about you?
I don't think anything. It's just they announce all these things, and it's like, okay, so it was like there's a pandemic. Let's just release info. So,
But
I
that
don't
was
know.
that were those other sites that were doing it. The sites that will remain unnamed.
Yeah.
Either way, until we see a trailer with these characters in it, I think everybody is fair game to be cut, right? Or whatever. I don't know.
What if they're like Matt Smith confirmed?
Yeah, exactly. If we've learned anything from Matt Smith, just because it's been said doesn't mean it'll happen. So we'll see.
Well, okay, wait. I have a question because I haven't actually seen the. What? Okay, do you guys know what the Mandalorian Emmy nominations were?
No.
Yeah.
You do, Brock?
I believe I know Ludwig Göransson. I'm screwing up his name. He got nominated for music.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo didn't get anything. Pablo? Pedro. Why do I always screw that up?
Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
didn't get anything. But I think what's his first name?
Yeah, he got a nomination for best voiceover acting.
Yeah. Oh, they're right. Okay. But what is Giancarlo Esposito? Fuck. I heard he got like a nom. He's in the movie. Or he's in the show for 50 minutes.
For best guest star, which I think you have to be in a show for less than 2 episodes. That's why. So
okay, that makes sense. That works.
I gotta find it because I just saw something and now I'm like, is that true? Okay.
And apparently, Sunithron is saying it also got nominated for best drama.
Yes, that I saw.
Yeah,
StarWars.com. They'll have the information. We're so prepared. 4 years of this and we can't figure it out. Outstanding.
Well, I was gonna do it on Hollow News, but once again, you've stifled me.
But it was. But you're.
Because I was thinking about it, I'm like,
Brock.
The like Star Wars getting nominated for a TV award.
All right,
like,
so
what?
Here's what. Well, this was last week's news, so it's old anyway. So here we go. Drama series. Drama series. Voiceover performance: The Mandalorian Chapter 8 Redemption for Taika Waititi, IG-11. Outstanding guest actor in a drama series is Giancarlo Esposito. Outstanding production design for a narrative program, half hour. Outstanding cinematography for single camera series, half hour. Outstanding fantasy sci-fi costumes, seriously. Single camera picture editing, makeup, music, sound editing, sound mixing, visual effects, and outstanding stunt coordination for a drama series, limited series, or movie. It is going to have a tough time going up again. Anyway, yeah, that's 15 out of Disney Plus's 19 nominations came from The Mandalorian. But Star Wars is dead.
Thanks, RFB, for the proper pronunciation of Ludwig's last name, Göransson.
Göransson, yeah.
That guy is awesome. Yeah. So cool.
Wait, there's an Emmy nomination for outstanding fantasy sci-fi?
Yeah, they have weird isn't
I think it was wardrobe
put together.
That's from movies, yeah. Well, that's the Golden Globes, but
the Golden Globes.
This is comedy or drama for half hours. So they do it by a half hour and an hour. The sci-fi one you're talking about is outstanding fantasy sci-fi costumes, because that's, look, the costumes of Friends versus the costumes of Star Trek. You can't, to me, you can never compare them, because okay, the Star Trek ones are way more elaborate, but does that mean they're better than the ones on Friends or sci? It's all weird.
Well, hey, we saw the fashion of the '90s. Everything is better than the wardrobe on Friends. All right, let's not kid ourselves.
That's true. But it's like, I like it when they separate things a little bit more, because the one thing, the best picture in the Oscars is like, well, sure, but I don't know, you can't compare. It's apples and oranges a lot of the times. So I think it makes sense to do that.
I'm surprised Hallmark movies aren't nominated for.
They just give them awards.
Yeah,
just pick them up and ship them out.
Outstanding use of a candle store.
Best ice skating rink near a cabin.
Oh my god, those movies are the best. I was on Instagram the other day and an ad popped up for one. I don't know which one. It was, it was like seeing
It's called
you
Love at the Blank.
Loving You at Christmas this Friday, starring. Have you noticed there's like like that guy who's like B-list Chris Evans or D-list Chris Evans in all those Hallmark movies? There's D-list Chris Evans. If you look, it's hilarious. It's not Chris Evans though.
Can that be our next podcast? It's dissecting Hallmark.
Aaron would be all over that. It's like literally. I think last year, starting in like October, they're like, "Screw Halloween, Hallmark we're in Christmas mode," and then they had 136 movies or something like that last year. Brock watched them all.
Yeah, I heard they already started shooting them again in BC last month or something like that. Which is probably they're shooting in a hotel, so I was like, well, perfect. There's nobody there probably.
Yeah, and
that has been confirmed for 500 of those movies.
I heard that they shot a Lifetime style movie during. I think I mentioned this during COVID, in like the beginning of May or something. They did it, and apparently it was very safe, and nobody got sick from it or anything. So if they could do it, sure. I mean, what are we going to do during Christmas without new Lifetime movies? If Dean Cain can't defend Santa Claus in court, I don't know what the point of Christmas is anymore.
I just want to know how that poor single father with the gorgeous chiseled features and the giant mansion is going to ever find happiness.
With Lacey Chabert.
Yeah.
He just can't find love. His dad didn't hug him enough. No. And his mom died on Christmas. So he's a real Grinch until he meets the sassy librarian that just moved into town.
Girls with Sabers is going to join us for our Hallmark Christmas podcast.
Yes.
The Hallmark cast. It's like finding love in podcasts. Candace Cameron Bure's and all that. It's true. I remember. You know what? God bless his soul and rest in peace. But Alan Thicke used to love. I listened to him on sports radio because Alan Thicke from Brampton, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Andrew is right now, in Alan Thicke's old home. His sister
celebrate Brampton. That's fine.
We're celebrating Brampton. Alan Thicke. Okay.
Somebody has to.
Yeah. Alan Thicke's from there. The fat guy from Breaker High's from there.
My mom's doctor for a while was actually Alan Thicke's father.
Yeah.
And then he got in some trouble and had to stop practicing medicine.
Alan Thicke's sister is a chiropractor there. Why can't I think of George Michael from Arrested Development's from there?
That's right, he is.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from Sierra Cara, whatever her name is from. There's a lot of people from Brampton.
Russell Peters.
There's a lot of people from Brampton.
From
Ryan Gosling from London, Ontario, which is worse than
the city that wishes it was Brampton.
The city that wishes it was Brampton. I go to Fanshawe. No one cares. Ryan Gosling. No one cares. Remember Breaker High? Na 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 na. Hey hey. Carry me away. That was the theme song. Breaker High. It was a Breaker High. Everybody was on. It was an American show, right? Breaker High. They don't have that kind of budget in Canada for those type of shows in the 90s.
Well, it was only on YTV, so it might have just been.
That was our Nickelodeon, though. So.
Yeah.
Breaker High. Do you think Ryan Gosling will ever appear in a Star Wars film? How about that for a segue? He seems like the kind of actor they would go after. Breaker High, and there's a picture of you. Remember when he was young Hercules? Oh my god. You got to give him credit. He really worked his way up.
Mm-hmm. He did. I can see Gosling being in it when he's old. Like as an old man, they cast him as like a wise old Jedi or something.
Does he still have that speech that he has?
Yeah, I think he would. But yeah, I can't see like current young, handsome Ryan Gosling running around.
It was Saban Entertainment.
Oh wow!
You know what we need to go with our Power Rangers? A show about a school on a boat. It was Canadian American. It was filmed entirely in Burnaby, British Columbia.
Wow.
So stupid. 1997 to 1998. Oh.
To be fair, I mean, how did like does anybody really want to watch a show about kids who are so rich that they get to go to high school on a yacht? I mean,
Well, if you go by the Saved by the Bell like
Yeah.
equation or formula, they went to a beach house. So you're like,
yeah, true.
kids be crazy. Remember boats? Remember cruises?
Remember being outside with people?
Mm.
Have the bars open up where you guys are and like stuff like that? Are you seeing more active nightlives? Yeah.
I don't go to bars when there's no corona. So I have no idea.
I think they're open. The movie theaters are open. 25 of them in the entire country. Yeah, the entire country.
Are you gonna go soon?
No, I'm not loud. But perhaps a drive-in movie. They were showing Goonies and Gremlins together like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, that's genius.
At the drive-in?
At the drive-in in
Oh
Oakville.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why did I miss that?
the drive-in
Ugh.
here had Gremlins and Ghostbusters together.
Oh,
And
it's
they
not
had Back to the
fair.
Future and something else too. I know, it's like I don't know. These are great times, man. People should be embracing these old movies on the screen because this is when movies had creativity behind them.
Okay, Pasquale, relax.
You know what I'm? Please, Brock. You go to the movie and it's always like it's a remake. It's this. It's that.
Well, actually, I was going to bring up a movie that I watched because I think you got sort of psyched about it. I watched 21 Bridges the other day.
What'd you think?
Good. I liked it. It was fun.
It was fun. It was better than Extraction, was my point.
Oh, yeah. I never watched Extraction, so I don't really have a comparison.
Well, they were both the Russo brothers, but the reason why I compare them is because they weren't directed by it. But Extraction was like heavily promoted, whereas 21 Bridges, it just kind of popped up one day. Yeah, and I thought it was. Sure. Neither one of them are like, oh, that's the best movie I've ever seen. But I thought 21 Bridges was a lot of fun. Extraction's pretty fun, but it gets carried away in its weird handling of the action scenes.
I didn't watch Extraction. I was like not on Netflix for a long time, and then last week I watched that movie, The Old Guard.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought it was one of the blandest things I've ever seen.
But everyone was excited about it, right?
Everyone, yeah.
What's The Old Guard?
It's the Charlize Theron. It's based on a comic book, and they're immortal, and there's just like a group of people who are immortal, and they're really good fighters, and they just run around fighting things.
I've never heard of this.
And it was it's meant to kickstart like a franchise.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is cool. This, I'm always down for new franchises. So I finally watched it, and I was like, it's just bland people fighting other bland people. Charlize Theron has this really cool axe because she's like an old ancient warrior, and I'm like, oh, cool. She uses that axe like one time. She like swings it once, and then you never see it again. And like, how did this get popular?
I have never heard of it prior to it coming on Netflix.
I still haven't heard of it.
But I liked like the lore of it. But yeah, you're right. Like it's an action film, and it was just like there's no stakes if you can't die. I mean, they find a way to create stakes, but like there is no stakes. But Dudley Dursley is the villain in it, and he's skinny now, so you're like, no.
Yeah. and I was like, okay, is he gonna be like a cool, like a guy that they go up against? And no, he's just like, I like money. I'm a tech billionaire. And I'm like,
I want your blood.
What's his name?
Henry Melling.
What's he from? I'm seeing his picture.
He's Dudley Dursley. He's Harry Potter's cousin.
Oh, that wasn't his real name. That's his character. Oh my god, you guys are nerds.
Wake up, cousin. We're going to the zoo.
He says on his Star
I know,
Wars.
I know. That's the. I'm looking. I have never heard of this, and it's got like some big names in it. Like, it's got 2 people I've heard of, but
Sooner Thrawn's like the new girl in the Beach House season of Saved by the Bell is Leah Remini.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, we know.
and her dad is Pumbaa.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on with this new information. Saved by the Bell. Stuff.
You know what my favorite Saved by the Bell, Saturday Night Live skits is inside the actor's studio, Will Ferrell with Tobey Maguire, and Tobey Maguire plays Screech. And he's like, tell me about Saved by the Bell Hawaiian style.
Hawaii. Oh, yeah.
And he's like, when I read the script, I openly wept on the plane. Hawaiian style. The 90s was something else for sure. And yet all anybody wants to talk about is Friends. So check this out. I just Googled Star Wars, and scientists inspired by Star Wars create artificial skin able to feel.
About time.
Based on Star Wars?
Well, they probably watched Luke,
right,
and they're like, we could do that. Singapore researchers have developed this is from NBC News, electronic skin capable of recreating a sense of touch, and innovation they hope will allow people with prosthetic limbs to detect objects as well as feel texture or even temperature and pain. I don't know why you'd want to feel pain, though. Get that out of my face. The device, dubbed ACEs, or 3 words I can't say, skin is made up of 100 small sensors and is about 1 square centimeter. Brock, you should read this on the news this week because this is kind of cool. So humans need to slide to feel texture, but in this case, the skin, which is just a single touch, is able to detect texture of different roughness. That's kind of wild. Star Wars.
Looks like I'm going to Singapore if I ever lose a hand.
And get a Singapore sling.
All I have to ask Sooner Thrawn is, because he listed all the movies his theater is showing. Major League, Fifth Element, Men in Black, Talladega Nights, Sex and the City, blah, blah, blah. Which Sex in the City is it? One?
Which Invisible Man is it?
Exactly.
Ooh. They are showing like what I was saying of the movies earlier though is they're showing like the perfect movies to go and have a good time and watch.
Yeah.
Like they're not showing the ones the forgettable movies. They're showing the hella fun ones. Thanks, Lauren.
The fact that Goonies and Gremlins are at the drive-in is beautiful.
Those movies should always be at the drive-in.
Yeah, why not?
They should just play every Star Wars movie. They should play the original trilogy on one screen, prequel trilogy on another screen, and the sequel trilogy on another screen. Those ones that have like 3 or 4 screens. Just play them. And then if you have a 4th screen, Rogue One and Solo, and one of the Ewok movies, just play those. And then everyone just goes and watches them. That'd be fun.
And then you go home at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the drive-in. You gotta sober up anyway, right? Hey-oh!
I don't know why you needed to shout for that.
Because my levels are very low.
Are they?
They are.
They're not coming low through here.
No, I know, but on OBS, it's not. They're coming very. Brock, I don't make the rules. Should I unbox Anakin to end the show?
Young Anakin Skywalker, a local boy. That's only at Target. Are you sure you want to unbox a Target only thing?
Brock, answer me.
This is the part of the show where we look at something on James's set.
I'm not going to. Okay, we're live. We're going to wrap it up right now. Because, Brock, we're going to... Episode 180, our 4-year episode,
wow.
will be up. I think we're recording on Thursday, so it'll be up on... no, we're recording on Wednesday. It'll be up on Thursday. Is that the plan?
Sure.
We're so organized. 4 years, we don't know what we're doing.
But yeah, 4 years of this. Do you guys know how many live streams you've done? Have you
So-
kept
oh,
track?
I could check on YouTube and find out for you next time.
Mm.
I will say this though, for the 4 years, Brock, I won't speak for you, but we've met a lot of really cool people during these times. A lot of other cool podcasters and YouTubers.
Mhm.
I know Girls with Sabers was just on here, and Lauren from Galactic's on here, and 2Med2. Look, we got Radio Rebellion, Star Wars podcast is here. A lot of people showing up on our show, and it's fun to collaborate with a lot of them and talk with them and meet them. And it's been a fun 4 years. Can't wait for the next 4 days.
Yeah, ditto. My eyes have been open to so many different cool corners of the Star Wars kingdom and all the people who inhabit it and all the different ways that they express their love and their joy for Star Wars. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I did a voicemail question for Force Toast podcast just last week. So, you get to know all these cool podcasters and just share your love of how Attack of the Clones is one of the greatest movies ever made.
And
So,
Force Toast, the first time we ever collaborated with them, my internet completely died out. And they
That's right.
took control of the middle segment of
carried it.
They just did it on their own. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't even surprised when I listened to it. I was like, there's a moment where they're just like, uh-oh, where did James go? Should we continue? And I didn't even bat an eyelash. I was like, yep,
He'll be back.
He'll be back. No, it's been great, and it's been a wonderful 4 years. And you guys invited me to be part of this show at a time where I really needed to be part of something like this. So thank you, both of you, for letting me be canon ? On Rebel Scum. It's been great.
Brock?
Yeah, I don't know, Andrew. I don't know if it's working out. Thank you to all that listened to our rambling. This is great. I like doing this. I'll keep doing it. You
Yeah,
can't
it's fun.
stop.
It is a lot of fun, and there's something else I wanted to say, but I forget, so maybe I'll say it on the podcast. When we started, The Force Awakens was the only new Star Wars movie to be released. Rogue One was coming out. We were excited for that. We didn't know what was going on with Episode 8 and Episode 9. It wasn't even something we thought of yet. And here we are all these years later where we had Solo to add to that, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll be talking about Taika Waititi's movie next, or whatever the hell's coming up, Mandalorian and The Bad Batch. Thanks for watching. And I'm just going to keep it simple like we used to do, Brock. May the Force be with you. You were always scum!